Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into SAVATHU'N's Campaign of Destruction. But before I begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. As Arx and his sisters forced an ultimatum on the remaining proto-hive to accept the worms or perish, Arx turned his attention to Fundament Moons, and the Ammonites there who had allied with the Traveler and gave asylum to Teox. Initially, he was willing to negotiate with the Ammonites, but his sister Savathun was under pressure from the worms, killed Arx as punishment. Rather than dying, Arx's soul instead passed to his ascendant realm, or throne world, where his soul resided until he returned to the mortal realm. Rebuked, Arx purged what sympathy and goodwill he had left, becoming a merciless tyrant. He and his sisters warred with and killed one another on a regular basis after the defeat of the Ammonites, as part of their worship of the sword logic and their attempt to become the sharpest blades in the universe, heading to their ascendant realms when defeated. Their war of revenge against Teox had transformed into a campaign of genocide, when they slew the Ammonites and the other interstellar civilizations to feed their worms. When Oryx established the Court of Oryx to study the sword logic, Savathun was inspired to establish a court of her own, known as the High Coven. During the war with the Akume, Arx came to realize that the worm gods had deceived him and his sisters. Their worms' appetites were growing past their ability to feed with death. Meeting with his sisters in the Ascendant Realm, surrounded by their servants, some of which despised them for showing weakness, they despaired over their dilemma. When his sisters offered their power to help Arx find a way to save them, Arx killed them, then used that power to confront his patron god Akka. He killed Akka so that he could steal its ability to call upon the deep, and created the Tablets of Ruin, which gave him the power to take. His transformation complete, Arx was now Oryx, the Taken King. During the subsequent war with the Akume, Oryx revived Zevo-Wrath in an act of war, and revived Savathun in an act of cunning. He then decreed the Tith system. Each hive would kill their enemies, take some to feed their own worm, and tith the rest to their superior. Thralls would tith to acolytes. Acolytes would tith to knights or wizards. The knights and wizards would tith to the ascendant hive. Those who commanded legions of warriors and earned the right to enter the hive god's ascendant realms. All of this violence would eventually reach Oryx, Savathun, and Zevo-Wrath, allowing their worms to feed on violence while continuing to invoke their inner natures. Following the Golden Amputation, Oryx declared to his sisters that the hive had conquered its way to the edge of the deep, and that it had granted him a personal audience. As Oryx retreated into his throne world to commune with it, Savathun conspired with Zevo-Wrath to stand him there and steal his Tablets of Ruin by cutting off the tribute flowing through his Tith system. They were ultimately unsuccessful, and on returning, Oryx waged war on Savathun and crippled her own tribute. In the aftermath of this attempted betrayal, Savathun learned of one of Oryx's daughters, Ir-Anuk, and was both enraged and delighted by her brilliance. While Oryx was off studying the deep, his son Crota was deceived by Savathun into using his cleaver to cut a portal inside his throne world, allowing the Vex to invade it. This amused Savathun. Her daughter alerted Ir to the situation, who alerted Oryx in turn. After Oryx dealt with the incursion, Savathun told Zevo-Wrath that Oryx's throne world had been compromised, and showed her where to cut into it so she could kill him. However, Oryx had recognized that his throne world was vulnerable, so he moved it into the mighty dreadnought from the remains of Akka, stealing from Savathun her scalpel to make it. After Oryx confronted and captured Kira for the last time, he presented the Vex to Savathun as a gift, hoping she would be pleased by its simulations. When she asked him what proof they had that what they were doing was right, Oryx simply replied that the hive's existence was proof enough in their convictions to live eternal by the sword logic. Following the war with the Harmony, Savathun decided that her fleets would enter the black hole that the Harmony lived around, claiming that they would become stronger for it, while Zevo-Wrath took her fleets away from Oryx's, as she felt he constrained her too much. So what did you guys think of Savathun's Campaign of Destruction? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.